Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Today, more than 6,300 people are living with HIV/AIDS in Wisconsin, and it's estimated that an additional 1,500 are undiagnosed but living with the disease. HIV infection disproportionately affects racial ethnic minorities, and during 2015, 62% of new diagnoses were among racial ethnic minorities, despite the fact that they make up just 17% of Wisconsin's population. My next guest is Dan Mueller. He is the Chief Development Officer for the AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin. Hi, Dan.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And it's my pleasure. The AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin is nationally renowned for the highest quality of care. If you would tell us more about it and your mission.
The organization is a 31-year-old organization. It really started out as a social service organization for people who were confronting AIDS in those darkest days. It quickly transitioned over to a healthcare organization. And today we are one of the largest HIV healthcare providers in the country, based out of Milwaukee, but with 10 offices around the state.
Okay, and you guys serve more than 3,000 HIV patients in the state by providing a long list of services, right?
We do. In fact, we provide all of these services regardless of ability to pay, which I think is critical to understand. There are services in the social services area like food pantry, housing assistance. We have legal services for folks confronting HIV. You know, they need powers of attorney drafted, wills. Any other.
There's also discrimination in many ways where you could use legal representation, right?
Still.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then we have a really robust HIV healthcare program that really started with dentistry. An HIV specialty dentistry program. We have an HIV specialized medical clinic and a behavioral health and wellness clinic.
Okay, and we'll break down some of the things that you do within those programs and services. You just mentioned the dental care at the AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin. And you guys provide HIV experienced dentists who do everything from identifying some of the oral symptoms of HIV to regular teeth cleaning, crowns, and even dentures, right?
Absolutely. It is. It's a little known fact, I think, for a lot of people coming to know the fight against AIDS, that a lot of the manifestations of the disease will show up orally before they show up anywhere else. So that dentist is really key to understanding the health of that patient in the chair and being able to fight the disease with a healthy mouth is absolutely key.
Okay, and when you talk about being a one-stop shop, because in many ways you are, you have a pharmacy that makes it really easy if someone's there getting services for one thing and they need medication, specifically their medication for HIV, then they all have it right there at their convenience.
It's true. They come into the building and they can see their doctor, they can see their dentist, they can see their lawyer, they can see their case manager, and they can see their pharmacist. And what's really unique about this pharmacy, Andrea, is that the pharmacist will be in clinic with you. Wow. I had a dad with a lot of health complications later in life. No pharmacist ever sat down with him and said, you don't need to take these drugs anymore. It was always add another drug into the regimen, add another drug into the regimen. This clinical HIV pharmacist is going to go into the clinic, into the appointment with the patient, and listen to the interaction between the patient and the doctor and help modify and tailor those prescriptions for each patient, so it gives us a better chance at ultimate success with the disease.
Yeah, and that is why you have been nationally recognized, because these things are key, and to be able to even provide those services on that level is amazing. So I'm sure you've been blueprinted around the country, right?
Well, we have actually been contacted by a number of other AIDS organizations. You know, back at the height of the AIDS epidemic, and at the start of the AIDS epidemic, these AIDS organizations, we were all rugged independents. We all started independent of each other. There's no national umbrella organization really kind of directing best healthcare outcomes. So we took it upon ourselves to really evaluate what we think is going to move the needle for HIV patients, benchmarked that against some of the best minds in healthcare who are on our board of directors, and we went to work trying to change our healthcare around to go after some of these goals, and the outcomes are undeniable. We're seeing great progress in the fight.
Good to hear. And Milwaukee actually ranks as one of the top 5 cities when it comes to poverty in America. 94% of your patients actually live in poverty. So you've got these social services that you mentioned earlier that include a food pantry. Also, you help out with rent and utility assistance, and you also have those attorneys, as you mentioned. With all of those things and you offering those services free of charge for those who are unable to pay, fundraising is critical.
It is critical. I want to stress that the gold standard in HIV healthcare is only achievable if we can have these social services working in concert with our clinics. And it doesn't do us any good to be able to provide health care or behavioral health and wellness care or dental care and not be able to be concerned about whether or not they've got healthy food on their table or in their kitchen, or whether they have a roof over their head. So we are shouldering all of this and trying to get it to all work together in concert around each patient. And when we do that, we can achieve the gold standard in HIV healthcare is called being undetectable. You still have the virus because, of course, in the 4th decade of AIDS, there's still no cure for this disease.
Right.
But being undetectable means that you are living the healthiest that you possibly can be. Nationally, 25% of our 1.2 million people living with HIV are undetectable. At ARCW, 89% of our patients are undetectable, and we think that events like AIDS Walk Wisconsin play a really crucial role in that success.
Absolutely, and needless to say, we are going to give everybody details in just a couple of seconds on how they can get involved with AIDS Walk Wisconsin, because if you hear all of these different things and you really say, wow, I wish there was something that I could do to help, or oh, those are wonderful things that they're doing to make a difference, this is where the community can come in and actually lend a hand and help raise money as well. So we'll talk about that. But first I wanted to talk about the Health Commissioner Bevan Baker was just here in the first segment, and he mentioned that the heroin epidemic is actually causing the numbers of HIV infection to kind of rise, as to where you had just mentioned, the fight has been going on for decades now, and this particular scenario is posing a threat to all of the work that has been done.
Oh yeah. I think it's really important for everybody to understand that this is one of the most complex diseases, and just when you think you've got it under management, there's another challenge that comes up, and this heroin problem is a challenge. Clean needle exchange is legal in the state of Wisconsin, and we have been after this for a long time. We've developed a clean needle exchange program that is a mature program. It's been around for years, and it is evidence-based. If we can help someone who has a very serious addiction stay clean from HIV, that is one of our goals. We are not passing judgment on someone who has an addiction. We just want to make sure that they are free from HIV. And if we do that, and if we can continue to do that statewide, then we can try and stop another explosion of HIV in the state. But it takes the involvement of many to make sure that this is effective.
Yeah, it takes a village, as they say, really it does. And I want to emphasize the fact that you offer HIV testing as well as hepatitis and STIs. You want people to be aware of their health status on every level. So does one just come in and sign up to be a patient? How does that work? Yeah,
they can call in ahead of time. They can find information out at our website, which is www.arcw.org. Where we outline all of the services available to folks. But yes, they can come in, they can get tested, and one of the latest specialties that we're offering now is really a foray into non-HIV infected people, but it's our PrEP clinic. a pre-exposure prophylaxis clinic. We find that for people who are at risk for HIV, if we can get them on medication sooner, we could also save them from contracting the disease. And so that's a real important aspect and another tool in our toolbox as well.
All right, thank you for sharing that. And you've got, as we've mentioned, the AIDS Walk Wisconsin coming up on October 1st. And this is a major fundraising event. If you would, tell us more about it and why everyone should get involved.
Well, it's 27 years old. More than 126,000 people. That's a city. Have registered for this event and have participated in this event over the years, raising more than $12 million.
Wow.
I think if you take $12 million out of any state's fight against HIV, that would be traumatizing. So we like to think that the folks that register for AIDS Walk really are making a difference. So it's a terrific day. The AIDS Walk is a 5K walk. There's also a 5K run in association with it. And 100% of the money that is raised at the walk stays in Wisconsin for the fight against AIDS here.
Okay, and this is happening starting and ending on the Summerfest grounds. And the exciting part, you always bring in awesome celebrities. Am I getting that starry-eye look?
Yes, you are. I've seen it before.
Right.
Yeah.
So this year's honorary chair is the one and only Taye Diggs, who has not only been a Broadway star, but he's known for his films, How Stella Got Her Groove Back with Angela Bassett, and he's actually joining the cast of Empire. And so he's really relevant, and people know him. They love his work, and he's going to be here in Milwaukee, really helping kickstart this walk.
Right. He is our honorary chair this year. We're really pleased to be working with him. He's excited. I was talking to him last week, and he said he has never been asked to do anything like this before. This is his first time really chairing an AIDS fundraiser of this sort. So we're really excited to have him.
Nice thing to add to his resume. And I do understand he hasn't been to Milwaukee ever before. So this is going to be something new and exciting for him as well.
It will. I think we're looking forward to showing him our stunning lakefront and our stunning walkers. So.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of stunning women waiting to meet him.
It'll probably be the best dressed walker we've ever seen.
Exactly. I did want to point out the walk on Saturday, October 1st is rain or shine.
Right.
So the party must go on. The registration begins at 9:30 a.m. You encourage people to bring their pledges then. There's beer sampling. Your 5K run begins at 10:30 a.m. And then noon, you've got opening ceremonies and kickoff with Taye Diggs and the walk starting at 12:30.
That's right.
Okay, I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. And you've had a lot of exciting people come to town to be honorary chairs. So as we wrap up the show, why Taye Diggs?
Well, Taye has been on our radar screen for a while. We thought this year of all years was really special because this is the 20th anniversary of the debut of Rent on Broadway. Taye was in that original cast. We liked him. We've liked him for a long time because of his role on shows like Will and Grace. And we think that he is a personality who cares about all people, especially the LGBT community. And we were excited to be able to confirm that he was going to be at the walk. And
it's all good stuff.
And to work with him.
Thank you so much for coming by and sharing all the information today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Dan Mueller is the Chief Development Officer for the AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin. For more information on their programs and services, you can log on to arcw.org or call 1-800-359-9272. For details on the 27th AIDS Walk Wisconsin and 5K Run 2016, go to aidswalkwis.org. And that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching. And I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues in Milwaukee. Have a great day.